welcome to our YouTube channel. This is me, Nicky Sinha, here with yet another very informative video today. So, today the topic of our discussion is going to be a very major topic on which, if you check your previous year's paper, you will find n number of questions which have been asked from this particular topic. So, this is Major Rock Edicts, Part 1. Now, when we are talking about Major Rock Edicts, I'm sure I don't need to explain or I don't need to tell you which is the ruler that we are talking about. So here we are talking about Asoka, because Asoka was the only ruler who inscribed messages on pillars, on marbles, on stones, on rocks to his subjects. And that is our major source of information regarding the modern empire, particularly during Asoka's reign. So that's what we will be talking about. I'll be telling you what is there in each of the rock edicts, which is a very important information that you must remember from your exam perspective. So let's start. All right. So, Asoka's rock edicts are divided into various sections. So, we have major rock edicts, minor rock edicts, major pillar and minor pillar edicts, and then we also have some other rock and pillar edicts. So, today I'm going to be talking about 8 major rock edicts and what has been written on them. That is what we will know, because that actually is a very important source of information for us. So let's start. So the first rock edict, the first major rock edict that we have, talks about prohibition of animal sacrifice, especially during festive seasons. So this was just Asoka's way of spreading dham or dharma. He also prohibited the slaughtering or eating of animals during festivals or during certain days of the week. So that is what your major rock edict 1 is about. Let's move on to the next one. So major rock edict 2. This talks about the medical treatment of humans and animals, planting of fruits, medicinal herbs, digging of wells. This is a very important part. Mentions the Pandyas, Satyapuras, Kerala Putras of South India. Now, this particular line has been asked n number of times. If you check your previous year's paper, you will see that this question has come a lot of times, which ask that in which of the rock edicts have the Kerala Putras been mentioned. So if question like that comes, you must be aware of what is there in each of the rock edicts. So rock edict 2 talks about how medical treatment was being arranged for humans and animals, the kind of fruits and plants which was planted during Asoka's reign, how the wells were being dug for the convenience of the people, and also mentions the contemporary rulers of Asoka's time. The third one talks about generosity to Brahmins, about Yuktas, Pradeshikas, Rajukas, who would go every 5 years to different part of his empire to spread Dhamma. So this also, major rock edict 3 also seems to be one of the aspects of Dhamma which talks about generosity towards Brahmins. So even when Asoka was talking about Dhamma, he was very tolerant towards any other form of tradition, and he has always asked his subjects to be very, very respectful and generous towards Brahmins. This also mentions some of the officials, some of the administrative officials who were appointed during Asoka's reign and the functions which they were performing. So we have Yuktas, we have Pradeshikas, Rajukas, who would go every 5 years in different parts of the empire so that they could spread the message of Dham. Now, as you can see, what they're saying here is that they would go every 5 years to different parts of the empire. Now, this was one of the ways in which Ashoka would actually control his officials from becoming too familiar with a place, just so that they don't rebel against him. So every 5 years, they would be transferred to a new place, and they would have to start with the whole process again, making sure that they were not strong enough to go against the modern empire. Moving ahead to the next one. Major Rock Edict 4. This talks about Dhamma Ghosh, which is the sound of Dhamma or righteousness, over Bheri Ghosh, which is the sound of war. The King Ashoka attached greatest value to his duty. So here, Ashoka has given a lot of importance to the righteousness or to the duty, more than the importance that he has given to war. So he is saying that Bheri Ghosh is obviously lesser than the Dhamma Ghosh, which is the sound of righteousness. So this again shows one of the aspects of Ashoka's life, where he was choosing Dhamma over warfare, which at that point of time was very important for a ruler. Wars were very important for a ruler, but Ashoka was giving up on that and choosing a different path altogether. Major Rock Edict 5th. It talks about Dhamma Mahamantras. So these were officials who were appointed to spread the message of Dhamma. So these are particular officials who were appointed to spread the message of Dhamma. Then it also talks about how the slaves should be treated right. A special cadre of officials, Dhamma Ghosh, were appointed and entrusted with the duty of spreading Dhamma within the kingdom. So Dhamma Ghosh means what? Dhamma Ghosh means announcement of Dhamma. So officials who were known as Dhamma Ghosh, who would make the announcement of Dhamma, were appointed so that they could go to different parts of the empire and spread the message of Dhamma. Now, till now we have done 5 rock edicts, and you can see that Dhamma forms a very, very, very important part of all of these rock edicts. Okay, moving on to the next one. Major Rock Edict 6. The king's desire to know about his people's condition, about welfare measures. So the Rock Edict 6 is about the king's desire to know about his people. Now he appointed officers who were known as Pati Vedikas. Now Pati Vedikas were responsible for giving him information regarding what was happening in the empire all around the clock. Even if he was with his wife, or when he was sleeping, or when he was discussing some important matters, or when he was involved in some personal work, even then, so all around the clock, he was to be informed about what was happening in the empire and about the welfare of his subjects. So this actually shows very important part of his character. The next one that we have is Major Rock Edict 7. Now this talks about tolerance towards religions among all sects, welfare measures for the public in his as well as his neighboring kingdom. So again, a very important part of Dhamma is being displayed here, where he talks about tolerance towards different religions and different sects. And here he is not limiting the welfare of the subjects to just his subjects. He is saying that Dhamma is all about welfare of the people. So it's not just his subjects whose welfare he is going to look after. He is going to make sure that the neighboring kingdoms are also looking after the welfare of their subjects. If they are not, then Ashoka is responsible for looking after the welfare of all human beings. Okay. Moving on to the last one, Major Rock Edict 8. Ashoka's first visit to Bodh Gaya and the Bodhi tree, and gives importance to Dhamma tours. So this is for the first time that Ashoka has visited the Bodhi tree. This is where Buddha has attained enlightenment. This is in Bodh Gaya, and this was his first Dhamma tour that he has taken. And it also gives importance to Dhamma tours, which were very important for all the Dhamma Mahamantras and Dhamma Ghosh to take, so that they could learn about Dham and they could spread the message of Dham. So in today's lecture, I have discussed 8 major rock edicts. They're in a serial wise manner. I haven't skipped any. So I have discussed 8 major rock edicts. We have more rock edicts that we have to discuss. After this, we'll have pillar edicts, then minor pillar edicts, and then minor rock edicts, and then some other rock and pillar edicts. Now, this is very important, as I told you in the beginning of the lecture only. It's very important that you remember these, because you are bound to get questions from here. And if you remember these are just easy marks that you are scoring. And that is why I have come up with this video, so that you have all the information in just one place. So I really hope that you found this information and this video informative, and this video was useful for you. Now we'll also have a part 2 for this video, where we'll continue with our rock edicts, major rock edicts, and then minor ones. All right. So if you still have any doubts, please feel free to address them in the comment section, and we will definitely take it up. Till then, this is me, Nicky Sinha, signing off. Please take care. Thank you.